Hi friend, Dr. Rob here. Hope you're doing fantastic today. Hey, I just came out of a really cool meeting yesterday where I was with a group of people and we put on an event for people who never get treated well. Let me tell you the quick story on it. There's a friend of mine, her name's Amber Stevens. Her birthday is coming up. She's got everything she needs, and so she decides she wants to do a birthday party, but not for her, but for other people who don't have the things in life that they need. So they go downtown, down in Atlanta, and they find this place called City of Refuge. At City of Refuge, they have about 200 different people who are there because life has not dealt them a very good hand recently. And so they're there, they don't have housing of their own, and so they've built this little community that will take people in, especially ladies, single moms who have children or are going through a rough time, to kind of get them back on their feet and to help them. And so that's what they're doing down at City of Refuge. And so we get a group of people, we make relationships down there. It's actually Amber's husband has a friendship with the director down there. And here's what we want to do. We want to go down and throw a birthday party for the ladies at this place. Why? Because their kids probably didn't have a birthday party last year. And so we get a whole group of together, we start talking about it. All these people jump on board. You know what we did? There's 80 ladies down there. We had nail salons set up where they did their fingernails for them. They had a makeup place. They had photo booths. We took gifts to all the children and we did a big happy birthday party for all the single moms and all the kids, the ones who hadn't had a birthday party, perhaps in a couple of years. As a matter of fact, there was one lady there. She says, I'm 51 years old and I've never had a birthday party before. But she did yesterday. It was awesome. So this group that we're putting together to do this, we have this one guy on our team who's leading the outreach as we're going and planning this all out and saying, okay, how are we going to do decorations? What about food? What about this? And he's putting it all together for Amber's birthday party, right? And this is a fine young man. His name's Tyree. And Tyree more recently had done another outreach, and the outreach went great. And he said, hey, I said, Tyree, how do you think the outreach went? He goes, I think it went really well. I said, me too. And I said, how do you think you did? And he said, I think I did pretty good. I said, I don't. I think you did terrible. He's like, what? But it went really well. I said, I know, but it's because you worked your butt off the whole time. You did so much work. You were trying to make all the contacts and do all these things. You weren't empowering other people. There are a lot of other people out there that if you would have just empowered them and given them the vision, then they could have run with it and they would have all the joy of recruiting their team and putting something together that gave them a lot of pride and hope. Let them choose to participate in it. So this time Tyree goes at it differently. He was scared to death. Why is that? He was scared to death because, well, if he's going to empower these different people, someone else is in charge of the food and someone else is in charge of the decorating, someone's in charge of the photo booth, someone's in charge of the presents, somebody else is in charge of the nails, someone else is in charge of the makeup. Who's doing all the cleanup? If somebody else is in charge of those, what happens if one of them goes down? He's going to look bad. So do you take the risk of empowering others? Tyree did, and it was unbelievable. Everybody jumped in, and here is the leadership lesson. This comes out of leadership research from Kouzes and Posner. People always tend to do better when they have the opportunity to volunteer something than when they're told they have to do something. Now, there's some things in our offices that we just have to get done. They have to get done, we have to get done, and you just can't help it. But so often what you say is, hey, we got this new project going. We're really thinking this and this and this. What do you guys think? Okay, hey, is there anyone who'd like to volunteer to jump in? And when people volunteer, they bring their choice, they bring their motivation, they bring their good attitude to the table, and something happens that's really beautiful in that. Let me explain why that is. Because if Tyree says, hey, Rob, I would like you to be in charge of decorations. And so I would like you to decorate it with streamers and balloons and some signs. And here's what I want it to look like. And I'll go, okay, fine, I'll do that. But guess what? I don't have any decorating ability, but I guess I can go to the party store with the best of them. So I'll go do that. Versus going to somebody who just loves that kind of stuff and saying, hey, would you be in charge of the decorations team? Here's what that means. We have to have it totally decorated an hour beforehand. And here's what we're trying to accomplish on the day. And you would be recruiting your team. You'd be buying all the products. We'll reimburse you any of the reimbursements that you want. But you would be making it look fantastic. Would that something like that excite you? And someone goes, yeah, I'd love to do that. Okay, great. And so you start to give them some guidelines, you give them a little bit of accountability, but they own it. It's all them. They choose to participate. Well, here's what happens. If he goes, hey, Rob, I need you to decorate, I'm like, fine, I'll go to the stupid party store, I'll do what you want. You get somebody who buys in because they choose to do it. You had no idea that their aunt had a warehouse of party supplies or something, and they love this stuff, and all of a sudden they're calling up different vendors and different people, and they're putting this stuff together, and you walk in and you're like, oh my goodness, look at this place. It looks awesome. Why? Because you got somebody gifted in that area who had the motivation, they wanted to do it, and it brought out the very best in them. And that's what the leadership research calls autonomy. Give your people autonomy. Give them the opportunity. Allow them to say, I want to choose to do something, and see what happens as they come along. Here's the hardest part for us as leaders. We want to say, oh yeah, you have autonomy now. How are you doing? Oh no, don't do it that way. Hey, you have autonomy. No, don't do it. No. You have to empower them. You agree on what you want to happen in the end, what you want it to look like, or what the results are going to be. But as far as how they get there, that's going to be up to them. Now, you can check in along the way and say, okay, I'm going to check back in 3 or 4 days and see if you've recruited your team yet. How many people do you have to hope that you have recruited by that time? You can start to do things like that. But if it's pressing the right buttons for them, it's going to be awesome anyway. Hey, here's what to remember. As soon as you've got something that you think, man, do I really have to do that? You have to take it from a have to a want to. The way that you do that is by giving people a choice and giving them autonomy. How do you get people to want to choose to do something? You got to tap into what's on the inside of them. Hey, check out the freebie this week. It has to do with that. This is Dr. Rob. Thanks for watching LeaderTribe.